Alright, we're back playing Final Fantasy VIII, and now that we have all of this crap done that I wanted to do, notice I didn't gain any levels or experience or anything, because I basically played a bunch of card games and got all the cards. Okay, now, what I've already done is I have turned 4 of these cards into windmills. So, sort, thank you. Let's go to, not that, ability, card mod. And the card you want to turn in is the Abyss Worm. I think it is now a windmill. And what we want to do is I want to go to Thunder Magic Refine. I want to give it to myself. And bang! I will have 100 tornado spells. Why do I have 100 tornado spells? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because that is immediately going to replace water. And my strength goes from 44 to 74. That will be enough to pretty much one-shot nearly everything for a long time. Does water do anything there? Yeah, it does. Actually, let's give her all those. There. Let's see what she can do with that. All she's got is magic. Yeah. Oh, water should do. Yeah, that's enough. Obviously, these numbers will continue to increase as we gain levels and whatnot. His strength is not static stuck at 74. But there's a bunch of other things that I can do now that I have all these cards and card mod. The first thing I want is I want a guest bar. I got 2 of a lot of these that I knew I was going to turn into something because I wanted to keep 1 in my inventory for some weird reason. But I want a guest bar for a black hole. You can turn 10 ruby dragons into an infernal fang, which will also teach Kesis a blue magic spell, but I don't find that worth it. You can get infernal fangs easier later. Also, if you have 10 behemoths, you can turn that into a barrier, which will give you mighty guard. I want Sam 08G here for running fire. I want a this thing for a water crystal, which is the same thing I was using to turn into water spell. I want a creeps for a coral fragment. Gala for a mystery fluid. Triface for a curse spike, and a caterpillar for a spiderweb. And that's basically all you can really do as far as blue magic is concerned right now. You can also, if you have, let's look at some other things here. Sorry. If you have a snow lion, which I didn't actually win, I don't think, or a blitz, which I also didn't think I actually won. Yeah, there are like characters in the Bellum Garden that will use level 5 cards, but there are not many. Another thing you do is if you get 4 of these, you can turn it into a Marble Tentacle. That will teach her Bad Breath. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Energy... And actually, remember this, Elnoil, because you will need 10 of these if you want to attempt to get the Lionheart on Disc 1, which I may or may not do. I mean, leave a comment if you want me to try. But yeah, if you get a Snow Lion, it'll refine into an item that'll give you 20 Blizzaga spells. A Blitz card will give you an item that gives you 20 Thundaga spells. 3 Hex Dragon, which I don't think I won either. No. Well, 20 Firaga spells. Obviously 10, an Inferno Fang for 10 Ruby Dragon cards will turn into 20 Flares. And if you wanted to grind out for 50 of these, you could actually put 20 flare spells on your, or 100 flare spells on your strength and increase it to the freaking moon. But I don't find that necessary for the amount of time it takes. And there's other small things like a bomb. Do I not have a bomb card? A basic explode in your face bomb? Apparently not. Well, that's 20 Firas, a Glacial Eye, which I'm fairly certain I have one of at least. That's not it. Wow, did I not win any of the things that I wanted to talk about? Jesus. But it creeps, the thing that I just before will actually come to 20 Thundara spell. So you can get some pretty decent mid or high level magic if you want to try to grind that out there. I'm not going to bother with it right now. Throstavis will turn into the Sheer Feather for 20 arrows, which is probably the third best spell. Yeah, 50 waters there. But what I'm going to do is, now that I have all those items, you just go to the menu, you do the black hole, and it's like, Quistis, really? Well, there you go. These I got from the monsters in the training facility when I was grinding, as well as these two. Running Fire, Aqua Breath, Electrocute, Acid, level / Death. I don't even know what that does, I never use it. And Ultra Wave. So, you know, that's a pretty solid start as far as blue magic goes. I think you have to go to, if you go to her status screen, you press X a bunch of times, it'll actually show you what they'll do. Damage all enemies, death against certain enemies, thunder damage, instant death. Probably the best one for right now is Gatling Gun for single target and Aqua Breath for all targets. But yeah, that's pretty much what we want to do right now. Now we're just going to go to the fire cavern, which is right over there. Well, yeah, the game has expected you to have fought a bunch of enemies in Junction and a bunch of magic, which, you know, I didn't really do because it's not entirely unimportant. Yeah. So yeah, basic tutorial there. I literally just showed you how to do this. And each magic has varying strengths of... Yeah, and you know, auto junction like the best based on whether you want the highest attack stat, the highest magic stat, or the highest defense. Yeah, and it'll put the... Basically, it'll put the best magic you have on each stat with prioritizing strength and magic as the highest. Yeah. Gunblade is... Press R1 when you're attacking to do the auto critical hit. Now, there is a thing that determines your initial seed rank. I'm gonna try to explain it as best I can and do the best that I can, but whether I get the best possible rank isn't that critical from the very start. We're gonna do 10 minutes. I should be able to breeze through it. Go, go, go! Yeah, I know your job. So basically, I have 10 minutes to get through this entire cave, kill Ifrit. And the higher my ATB is, yeah, see 847? No monster in here has taken that, regardless of what level they are. Now, unlike most dungeons in the game where the monster's levels are relative to your own, in the ones in here... Yeah, she's gonna taunt me as we run. But the ones in here are static. They are... Now you're just making me waste my time. Yeah. One of the few games where bomb enemy is not weak to fire. Yeah, all they have is fire as magic, so I'm not worried about it. Ow. And the great thing about junctioning is that if I put Shiva on Quistis and gave her the tornado spells, she would be basically about just as strong, so it's not that critical. Really? Don't, why are you stopping me? Yeah, I'm speeding through the dialogue there because I have a limited amount of time, but she's basically taunting me for... Anything you want to do in here, you can basically save for the trip out, so it's not that... The one thing that can make the sequence a little difficult if you're playing without the Junction strength is that because the timer is constantly running, and this is a PlayStation game, so load screens are a little wonky. Things take forever to start. So, like, you know, you get into a battle and like 10 or 12 seconds will click off the timer before... I will worry about those paths later. I just want to get rid of it. Because there's a draw point, and I think that's it. I don't think there's any real treasure in this game. But yeah, it'd be 10 or 12 seconds will click off the timer before your ATB bar even starts moving, and if you pick the lowest time, you can, you know, you might be panicking. It's like, I don't know how long this dungeon is, I have 7 minutes left, but, you know, we're almost at the end. Okay. Thanks, game. That is the final screen before the boss. Do you guys have anything interesting to draw? Nope. Yeah, no enemy in here has really anything interesting to draw. I'm gonna draw some more scans, just because. But unlike most dungeons, I think I cut myself off from finishing this point, but unlike most dungeons of the game, where the enemies are leveled to you, these guys are all fixed, including Ifrit himself. Yeah, we do. Yes, I am ready. Yep. Hi, buddy! And we get the sweet boss music. Dun, 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 dun. And yes, the timer is still in fact counting down. Now, let's show off a little bit of extra dialogue here with Sheila. He has 1,068 HP. He is level 6. That is constant. No matter how much level you grind, he will always have that much, which is great. Yeah, see, that's about half his health right there. He apparently knows what I call Shiva. Let's draw some more cure spells. I think I can finish him in one attack. Yep, he's done. Now, the thing is this, is that you want to get that timer as low as possible. So, a lot of people try to, like, you know, wait, and we get an Ifrit card, that'll be important later. Okay. A lot of people don't know that the timer is still counting down. And, you know, obviously, since we're done with the battle, if it hits 0, it's not that important. But if you wait on this screen, basically after having named Ifrit, until you are sure the timer is 0, you will get basically the best possible score. Because that's how this works. You know, finishing the battle with 0, or as close to 0 as possible on the timer, which is why you tend to pick, or why I tend to pick, the 10-minute mark. So we're going to give it a little bit. B-Dude requested to be Ifrit, because he likes to be involved in everything. I'm still looking for some names for GS. I think, like, Carbuncle is free. There's nobody except Alexander, Eden, the Jumbo Cactar. I think even... I don't think Bahamut is a GF in this one. But yeah, there's a couple of them still free. I mean, feel free just to put your name out there. Come along for the journey, because that's what this is about. This is a let's play. I encourage you to pick up the game, play it along, you know, use your own strategy, or, you know, you can use the strategies that I do. You can find another walkthrough and use the strategies that they do. Everybody plays the game a little bit differently. Share your own strategies with me and with each other. That's what the comment section is for. You know, this is a game that has a very, I don't want to say, it has a very bad reputation for, because a lot of people consider it to be terrible, which I don't think that it is. And you know, I wouldn't say it's great or phenomenal or a must play in either the Final Fantasy series or like the PlayStation library in general. But if you do like, you know, RPGs and you like interesting or different game mechanics, this is definitely good. Because the Junction system allows you to do a lot. It allows you to create a super powered physical attacker or a super powered caster, basically on the fly. It allows you to create, to switch around being immune to different elements or different status ailments, almost at a whim. You know, as long as you have the right abilities learned, the right amount of AP put in. I mean, we got 20 AP, which didn't learn anybody anything because they're on serious abilities now where it costs a lot. You know, I mean, I think Shiva's elemental attack junction grabs like 160. But I'll go over elemental and status attack junctions when I have the ability to actually use them, which shouldn't be too long. Yeah. I did not start any sort of timer to know. I'm not too worried about it, because the only thing the score contributes to is your starting seed rank when you actually become a seed, which is actually, you know, has a ton of other like contributing factors as well. So, you know, even if I don't get as much as possible, you know, there's ways to rank up to maximum without, no matter what rank you start with. It's just easier to do if, you know, you start higher, because, you know, each ranking up requires a certain amount of steps or time in between the tests that allow you to rank up. So, you know, if you start at rank 6 instead of like 2, then that's less time you have to spend ranking up. So, yeah, let's give him a minute or so. I mean, obviously, Ifrit isn't that difficult. You get a little extra dialogue if you use Shiva on him. He's weak to ice. If you have some ice spells, either crafted via cards or junctioned. I mean, if you can find a couple snow lions and turn that into some Blizzaga spells, and, you know, put the tornado spells on whoever has Quasicodal, put that on their magic stat, they could have murdered him with magic just as easily. And that's what I like about this game, and that its versatility in how you can set things up. Because aside from weapons, characters don't have armor or accessories or any other kind of equipment. So literally the only way to get things the way you want them is through junctioning, which is what turns a lot of people off from this game, because of how complicated it is and how different, and a lot of people don't want to take the time to, you know, sit there and spend 10 minutes in a battle with like a bite bug, getting everybody, you know, 100 cure spells. That should be good enough there. Okay. Oh, yeah, I had 2 of them already. Okay, now she's going to explain elemental junctioning. Shiva can learn elemental attack junction if it comes with it, which is great. Yeah, as you see, above HP where it says ST-80 and then EL-80. That'll tell you to press left to go to the various menus. Once is element, twice is status. There are 8 elements to Junction. Water, ice, lightning, earth, poison, wind, fire, and light, I think? Or holy? I know holy is one, but darkness is not. Yeah, non-element, you can't Junction non-elemental magic, and things that have, like, weird kind of elements will, you know, raise more than one. There's a couple that raise, I think, like, Flare raises all of them. Yeah. So the more, the stronger the stronger the element, basically, the more damage is increased if the enemy is weak to it. If an enemy has, like, no effect, if an enemy is neutral to it, it has no effect. If an enemy nulls it, it will null. Like, if you had a 50% ice and the enemy was immune to ice, it would null 50% of that damage. Yeah. And then defense is the opposite. If it has a star, that means it absorbs some. It is, I think it is impossible to actually be immune to all elements. But I think you can, the highest I've ever seen it is you can get everything to like 75% with the right junctions. Which basically, it doesn't make you immune, but it basically makes it so that elemental damage doesn't really affect you. And if you want to keep, if you want to have 100% absorb, you can try junctioning different types of mag, or multiple of the same type to increase the effect, as I just said. Yeah, Junction Blizzard, the elemental attack. Alright, let's take a look at the old B-Dude. Yeah, he starts with Strength and Elemental Attack Junction, which basically makes him, I don't want to say better than Shiva, but he's going to be my physical attack thing. I want him to learn this as soon as possible. Actually, no, I want him to learn Fire Magic, and then start working on Strength plus 20%. He also came with his card. Let me give that to her so she has... just so she can junction something to Strength, give herself more... so she has a decent physical attack now, even though basically that will not really matter too much. He also came with his card, as most GF bosses in the game will. And he is a level 8 Guardian Force card. And he is basically the card you play in the lower right corner, and he is nearly invincible. Which is great. But yeah, oh, the other one, Minimog. The small child running around the Blam Garden Circle, this is where you win Minimog. And it will actually be quite important for you to win that later, because there is a side quest called the Queen of Cards. And basically, what happens is, she will... she's, as you saw, I showed off, she was in Blam. And if you lose certain cards to her, she will get her dad, who makes all these cards, will get inspired. He will basically put a new card, a new rare card, in someone's inventory. Now, you don't have to do that. See how much damage she does with 37 strength. Yeah, she's still well enough to one-shot everything here. You don't have to do that, because if you complete the Card Club side quest later in the game, you'll be able to win any of the rare cards anyway, regardless of whether you've done that or not. So it's ultimately kind of pointless, but it does allow you to get certain things faster. Get a fire thing, you can have that, I guess. 12 fires. I don't recall being able to stock more than 9. I guess that's different for this version of the game. But I will go over, you know, the Queen of Cards and the card, the other cards, like when they become more relevant. Because it involves a lot of, I don't want to say save scumming, but it involves a lot of random chance and making sure that you get, you know, when a random number generator is, when a random number is generated, that it goes the way you want it. Because she's gonna basically leave from Balam to go, oh, we got a bomb card. Thanks for, you know, having that now. Yeah, bomb fragments. What does that do? 20 fear spells? Not great. But yeah, she's gonna leave Balam and go somewhere else, and you want her to go to a specific order. You don't want her to go to some place that you can't get to at the start, because then you're gonna have to wait forever to catch up with her again, and that's just a big hassle. So it's like you're like, okay, play her. She's like, oh, I'm bored. I'm going here, and you're like, well, that's not where I want her to go. So you got to go reset, do it again. So yeah, it's just kind of a hassle, but I mean, it is worth it in the end, because unlike the next game, as we shall see very shortly, or not very shortly, but in the near future, card modding is really, like, this is the last step. Alright, just kill this bomb. But as we shall see, you know, wow, achievement for 100 kills. Thanks, game. And those two guys are gone. They were like guarding this cave, and now they just fucked off. But okay. Am I gonna grind anything? I might. Now, the thing is to get the Lionheart, it requires 12 what are called pulse ammo, and that's what you need the energy crystal for, from the Illinois card. It requires, just other ways, but that's probably the easiest way you have access to it on disc 1. It requires 4 Dragon Fangs, which, if I was below level 20, there's an area where an enemy spawns pretty much all the time, and they drop them, but I'm above it, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go into the forest around here to find T-Rexes, kill them, and get theirs, which is going to suck. Which I'll probably try to do that a few times off-screen here. And it also requires an Adamantite, which you can either farm from a certain enemy a little later, which is level 30, or you can actually just, you know, mod one of the cards for it, which I'll probably end up doing. But yeah. There's one thing you want to do is you could refine Ifrit into 3 elemental attacks to give all 3, or, well, your other non-GF, because the other 2 either have it or will learn it, but you give them elemental attack, and you don't want to do that because you need Ifrit for another thing, you know, later. And you don't want to kind of ruin that for now. Yeah, see, we're almost done with that there, but okay, so that's going to do it for this episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy VIII. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all your support, and have a good night.